Pro-Life Radio is a pre-recorded program paid for by Pro-Life Radio.
Preserving the sanctity of life in Florida. A loud voice for the unborn. This is Pro-Life Radio with your hosts, Vicki and Bruce Cherry.
And welcome to another edition of Pro-Life Radio on a Sunday night. I am Bruce Cherry, and I am accompanied by my lovely wife, Vicki Cherry. And tonight we have a very special guest on.
Amen. Yes, we do.
One I have wanted to have on since we first met her back in 23. And we were at CPAC. Mm-hmm. And we have Silk of Diamond and Silk joining us tonight on Pro-Life Radio. Thank you for being here.
Wow. Thank you both so much for having me.
Before we get started, because we've got a bunch of questions for you, but before we get started, we start everything off with Jeremiah 1:5 and prayer.
Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations.
Heavenly Father, thank you for this opportunity to share truth once again, to affect people's hearts, to let them know that none of us has a right to disqualify a life that you have ordained to live. All life is precious and all life matters. And God, we need to protect the unborn that are out there. And we just ask you to let us have the words to share. And let those who are listening have the discernment over what we're sharing. And if there's someone out there with what they feel is a crisis pregnancy, someone out there trying to make a decision on whether or not to keep their baby, that we affect that change, that they keep that baby, and that pays tenfold forward for anyone else out there that's struggling with the same decision. God, we just want to save lives, and we ask you to bless this ministry, bless all who are hearing this show, and bless our guest, Silk, tonight. Heavenly Father, we ask this in the name of your precious Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
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 Silk, thank you for joining us.
Yes.
This is
thank you.
Quite an honor for us. It really is. So I know a little bit about you from your bio, but I know there's some things in there that aren't accurate. But first off, and it's been a while, but our condolences on the passing of your sister. That was a while back. But you two were such a powerful force.
Oh, I used to love to listen to them all the time. I was like, oh, my gosh.
Yeah. And you two were such a powerful force in making sure that President Trump got back into the White House. And we thank you for that.
Well, thank you so much for your condolences. And, yes, that's who Diamond and Silk are. We represent straight up truth. Mm-hmm. And we believe that everybody should have a voice. In this country, everybody have a right to their own opinions, and no one should censor individuals' freedom of speech.
When did we get to the point in this country of not being tolerant of other people's opinions? I mean, it just... I believe that it happened whenever more individuals began to speak out. When people awakened from the stupor, of the darkness, of being silent, of being quiet. And I call it underground media, like Diamond and Silk. We did, started on social media. And with more people realizing that they can have a voice on social media and the narrative that was being pushed out there by, you can call them the left-leaning lunatics or whatever you want to call them, these are demons from the pits of hell. But when they saw that their narrative was being diminished, whenever they would say certain things, that corporate media that sat by and just lied to the country, lied to people. So when you had alternative media, or you had a Diamond and a Silk to come out and say, no, this don't sound right. This is not making any sense, y'all. And we begin to do our own investigations, educate ourselves, and begin to speak out about what we found out about. I believe that once again, evils that be said, no, we got to silence that because our message is not getting out. They're overpowering our message.
And then it became a thing where now, the government, of course, has gotten involved, and they're like, no, let's allow this particular platform to become an extension of the government, because that's how I view it, and silence this person, silence that person. If they're not speaking this way, silence them there. And then they brought on these algorithms to take, and if you say certain words or whoever, if you say certain names or post certain names or whatever, they know to censor those posts because they don't want the alternative message to get out there. They don't want open dialogue. They want us all like sheep being led to a slaughter. Just one way of thinking. And that's what they have basically created. And once again, I believe that that's what it began, when more people began to speak out against their narrative.
Yeah. And pardon me, just for a second, because our IT team has told me I have to do this in order that we get more exposure. So I have to mention pro-choice. Okay, there we go. So, no, because we found out we're
in
being
the algorithms.
we found out we're being silenced because we say pro-life radio, and they think, okay, we're not going to. But if pro-choice pops up in there, they let it get out, and people hear our show and see the videos and things like that. So I had to throw that in there. So just every now and then in a show, I'll say, well, the pro-choice people are, and it's pro-choice was mentioned, so then the algorithm lets it go out. So yes,
exactly.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Exactly. Now they have the AI that knows what to do, and so those certain trigger words, they know what those trigger words are to either allow you to be heard or allow you to be censored.
Now let me share some of what I have found, and you can tell me what's correct or not. But you and your sister were former Democrats.
Yes, lifelong Democrats.
Okay.
We was lifelong Democrats all the way up into
15?
15.
Yeah.
2001-5, yes, 2015.
What changed then?
Go ahead.
What changed? What made you change parties?
I was just going to ask her kind of tell us your story. What happened?
Yeah.
Why are you where you're at?
Well, my sister Diamond, who actually began doing videos, and I was behind the scene. I was the technical person, and I made sure that her videos got put on, the places at the time was YouTube. Then, we became Facebook. So I would make sure her videos get on there. The viewers view. We wanted the viewers' opinion and allow the viewers to have a voice. And what happened is President Trump, at the time Donald Trump, was coming down the escalators. My sister called me and she said, Silk, at the time, let's just say Silk, okay, turn on your TV. Donald is announcing that he's running for president. And so I stopped what I was doing. I turned on my TV, and a few minutes later I called her back and I said, girl, this is going to be the next president of the United States. And from that point, there was something dealing with Bill Cosby and the Quaaludes and all of this different stuff was going on. And I told her, girl, I want to come on the show. I want to come on with you and talk about this particular situation. And I came on with it. We had a conversation about it. And people loved us, the two of us together. All right? So now that's Diamond and Silk. All right. So as she began to do her video, she did a video, said that I believe I'm going to dump the rest of those chumps and stomp for Donald Trump. And so
you got to say that again.
And so people was looking at her like, okay, so she's a black woman and she's talking about voting for a Republican, and it's like, what? So media just started calling and different things, and we missed a lot of media hit because we was not familiar with a lot of the emailing and stuff at that time. So I told her, girl, I'm going to set this up so you'll never miss another incoming email and so forth. So once again, we continued on, and as I began to do my research about the Democrat Party, the Republican Party, because I couldn't understand at the time, how is it and why is it that people were mad at us for talking about Donald Trump? It's like it was the wrong thing to do to be black individuals looking at a Republican, and we couldn't understand it. So I began to do my research, looking at the history, digging really, really deep going into the encyclopedia, not necessarily just online, but going back, through histories and books and stuff, and found out that it was actually the Democrat Party who was the party of slavery. They was the party of keeping individuals enslaved, and they fought to keep people enslaved, that it was the Republican Party that freed the slaves. Yep. All right. So I was like, but hold on. That's not what they told us. That's not what the Democrats taught us and indoctrinated us with. Yep. It's like a generational curse. And it was like, okay, this is what you believe. The Republicans is the boogeyman, right? And you ain't supposed to look at them, talk to them. You're only supposed to vote Democrat. And so my sister and I began saying, just because you're black does not mean you have to vote Democrat. Okay? We kept that slogan out there. We kept telling people come off the Democrat plantation. My sister and I, we went down to the voter registration office. We changed our affiliation to Republican so that we can vote for President Trump, at the time Donald Trump, in the primary and general elections. See, a lot of people don't know about the closed primary, the open primary. So we begin to teach people about the open primaries and the closed primary. You had to be that person's affiliate in order to vote for them in the primary. So we started a movement called the Ditch and Switch Now movement, okay? And people told people, get off that Democrat plantation. That was back in 2015. We did this on our own. Nobody asked us to do it. Nobody made us do anything. Diamond and Silk, we did this together because we felt that this was the right thing to do. We have been stagnated, especially in this country, at the time as Democrats for a very, very long time. It's like, the little rat that's on the wheel just spinning. That's all that we were getting. We were being promised this and told that and got absolutely nothing.
Absolutely. Hey, we've got to take a break. So, Silk, stay with us. We're talking with Silk of Diamond and Silk. It's Pro-Life Radio on a Sunday night, and we'll be right back on AM 950, FM 94.9, The Answer.
If you're pro-life, like this show, and want to support this mission, please help with your donation today. Go online to givesendgo.com/Orlando Pro-Life Radio, or make your check out to Mission Save America, Inc., and mail it to 13900, County Road 455, Unit 107-334, Claremont, Florida 34711. Pro-Life Radio is a non-profit entity, and all donations are tax-deductible. Thank you.
And welcome back to Pro-Life Radio on a Sunday evening. I'm Vicki Cherry. Across from me is my very handsome husband, Bruce.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
That was a normal voice this time.
That was, yeah.
Yes.
I figured I can't do the other one when I got Silk on. So
I know, right?
We have Silk of Diamond and Silk with us on the line tonight, and we're just having a great time. And we're talking about some of the best radio takes place during the commercial breaks. And Silk, you had shared with us that what your sister had said, I'm going to dump these chumps
and stomp for Donald Trump.
Wow.
Yes.
Love it.
I love what you shared in the first segment.
And that's where Stomp for Trump came from. Stomp for Trump, Stomp for Trump, and then the Trump train. My sister and I, we was on one of these shows on, I believe it was Fox News, and she told them to get on the Trump train or get the H out the way, and then so now the Trump train was born, and so it's like we became the conductors of the Trump train, and that became just worldwide. So when you hear people talking about getting on a Trump train, Diamond and Silk is the one that started that.
Started that. Okay. All right. So for those of you who may not know, and I can't imagine anybody in our listening audience who doesn't know who Diamond and Silk are, but former Democrats up until 2015, and they had their eyes open. Now unashamedly Republican. Silk is an author, speaker, political activist, YouTube influencer, and did I miss anything?
Well, yes. First off, I don't know why they continue to call me an influencer. I am an internet sensation. That's what President Trump called Diamond and Silk. And and I'm a commentator. I'm also an executive producer, an actress, We produced a movie called Pardon Me, The Beverly B. Williams Story.
Okay.
You can see this movie at watchpardonme.com. This is a movie about a pro-life individual who was sentenced to 41 months in prison for basically being in front of an abortion clinic praying for these women to stop killing babies.
Okay, what is the name of the movie again?
The name of the movie is Pardon Me, The Beverly B. Williams Story.
Pardon Me.
Yes.
Okay.
And you can view it at watchpardonme.com. A lot of the theaters did not want this movie to stream in their theaters. We found out that a lot of the executives, the people at the top, were part of the abortion,
the establishment,
I guess members
pro-choice.
of the abortion. Yeah. They was members and stuff. And, the movie, they did not want a lot of the movie playing in a theater. So we was basically blackballed from the theater. So we put it on stream, and that's where it's been. WatchPardonMe.com.
Okay. WatchPardonMe.com. So pardonme.com, the Beverly B. Williams Story. Okay.
Beverlyn.
Oh, Beverlyn. I'm sorry, Beverlyn.
That's right, baby. Beverlyn B. Williams Story.
Beverlyn. Okay, got it.
Yes. So I'm a lot of that. I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother. I'm a whole lot of different things. Now, still, I carry on the Diamond and Silk Chit Chat live show Monday through Fridays at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. So I still do the show, commentating and talking about, different things that's going on in our country, especially when it comes down to the weaponization of the government and how people are still suffering behind that. So I do a whole lot of things.
Yes, you do. I mean, wow, you stay busy.
Very.
I'm hesitant to ask you this, and I don't mean to open an old wound, but you and your sister had a very special relationship.
Most definitely. You can open up anything you want to. Listen, I'm a individual that don't have a problem with talking about anything. Okay, because open dialogue is the number one thing that I love to do. Number one conversation, especially for people to get an understanding about what happened, why it happened, how it happened, et cetera. So my sister and I, we're 10 months apart. They called us Irish twins.
Irish twins, yes.
Yes, And, yes, we did everything together. And she was the melody, I was the harmony. We did everything together. We knew what to do. I was actually the message, but she was the deliverer. I can, she could say something. I'd be like, hey, spin it this way right here so it can stick. She knew how to deliver the message. So, yes, we worked hand in hand together, and we basically knew how to do it with the grace of God.
So, tell us, if you would, the thought that because I can't imagine, I don't want to imagine, I can't imagine being without my wife here, and
wow.
So tell me, what did you think when God called your sister home? What was the first thought?
Well, it was unimaginable. For the last 10 months of my sister's life before she passed away, they had all of this bioengineered weaponry out there called COVID. So she did not get the COVID shot. But way back, let me just take you way back in the day. My sister used to suffer from blood clots. Okay. So with her suffering from blood clots, she was able to take like Aliquis or warfarin, the anti-clotting medicines or whatever you want to call them. She was able to take it, and the blood clots will go away. All right. Well, one thing we noticed that with this COVID era, a lot of different ailments and different things that people were suffering from back in the day, all of a sudden it was back. All of a sudden. Right. So my sister, the last 10 months of her life, she suffered from blood clots. She had blood clots in her legs. And even though they gave her Eliquis, warfarin, Lovenox, these were the type of clots that would not go away with medicine. Okay? She did everything she could, but they would not go away with medicine. Every time we went to go, to the doctor to look at them to see if they shrunk, they actually got bigger and bigger. So it was not much that she can do with it. And I actually moved her in with me so that I can take care of her. This is something that a lot of people don't even know, so that I could take care of her because it was hard for her to walk. She would get winded. And remember, she's a voice, but she still managed to get up enough strength to still do the show at night. She still managed to do that. Okay. Let me see, it was after Christmas. No, a week before Christmas. They said that she had a blood clot in her lungs, and they needed to rush her to the emergency, to the hospital. She was in the hospital for a week now. I know that there's a rumor out there that she was in a hospital for COVID back in November. That's a lie. Okay, that's a lie. I believe you all are probably the first ones that I'm telling this part to. So it was a rumor the week right before Christmas. And so with being in the hospital, this is what I found is that a lot of people figured out who she was, who we were, because I was right there with her every day. And they wanted to give her the jab. We was like, no. We, of course, talk. No, we can't take that. We don't know what that is. It's experimental, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, look, there's a combination of things that could have happened while she was in the hospital because a week later, I believe it was almost a week later, she died. And also, after she passed away, I took and I got the medicines that she was on, her insulin. They had her on insulin, okay? And we had the insulin examined. And when we had the insulin examined, we found out that the quantum dots and the different lights and different things that they had in the COVID jab was also in her insulin. Oh, wow. So once again, there's a multitude of combinations. Remember, the gain of function research was with Dr. Fauci had done where they made this so-called virus more transmissible. Well, with making it more transmissible, anybody that got a jab, if they're around you, you can get remnants of that. And so with Diamond's immune system being weak, she could have been around anybody and could have gotten anything. So once again, there's a multitude of different things that could have happened. But at the end of the day, she suffered from blood clots, and that's what she was being treated for, blood clots. And she basically died right here in my arms at my back door, just out of the blue, too. We was not looking for her to pass. We had just got finished celebrating my brother's 50th birthday. She was doing good, talking to everybody. I got up, left the room. When I came back, she said, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. So I stood her up and made it to the back door to try to, open up the back door to get her some air. And she's like, I can't breathe. And she's like, she started, trying to catch her breath without 911. They was like, what type of breathing is it? It's a shadow breathing. And before I knew it, I saw my sister just go. Her life just left. And they told us to lay her on the floor. We did our CPR, me and my husband, CPR until the ambulance came in. And they took over. They did everything that they could. And my sister, she did not come back. So that was a total blow for me, to me. And I think what I had to realize, because what I did is afterwards I went to the bedroom that, I had set up for her. And I sat beside the bed and I said, Lord, why did you take her from me? Out of all of the people that could have gone, the people that don't want to live, why you take her? And it's like I heard God say, I needed her more. That's what came on my spirit. I heard God say, I needed her more. And so when I felt that, it's like I felt this calm. And I'm like, I have to let God's will be done. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, God, give me the strength to carry on. It's all you can do. So, yes, I was the message, but now I am the messenger. Okay, so I can still carry the message. I just have to carry it the way I know how to carry it.
There you go.
I might not, I might not be able to say it and be as tactful as her, but God has given me now the opportunity to utilize my voice. And I said, well, Diamond is there and with God. So I said, hey, sis, you make sure you tell Jesus everything that's going on down here in these streets. Because we need some help down here, sis.
That's it. That is it. Hey, we've got another break we're gonna take. We're with Silk of Diamond and Silk, and we'll be right back. It's Pro-Life Radio on a Sunday night, AM 950, FM 94.9, The Answer.
If you're pro-life, like this show, and want to support this mission, please help with your donation today. Go online to givesendgo.com/Orlando Pro-Life Radio. Or make your check out to Mission Save America, Inc. and mail it to 13900, County Road 455, Unit 107-334, Claremont, Florida 34711. Pro-Life Radio is a non-profit entity and all donations are tax deductible. Thank you.
And welcome back to Pro-Life Radio on a Sunday night. And we have just an incredible guest. And I think, it's too bad that some of the stuff that we talk about during the break, we can't put on the air because there's just not enough time in the show. Mm-hmm. Because I've always said that some of the best radio takes place during the commercials.
I know. That's why I said, hey.
Yeah, let's get back to it.
Be on the show, but...
So, Vicki Cherry, I'm Bruce Cherry, and we have Silk of Diamond and Silk with us tonight on Pro-Life Radio. And we've talked a little bit about pro-life, but we know that Diamond and Silk were pro-life, conservative, Christians, and just an eye-opening, refreshing breath of air for our culture, for our country, for our society.
I love the story of how they started researching and seeing, because so many people argue that, no, the Democrat Party changed. That's why we're still Democrat. No, they've always been bad. They didn't change. It was the Republicans that, and if you go back through history, like Silk said, she has. Yeah. It's evident. You just have to look for it.
And if you go back to Reconstruction after the Civil War, the first black representatives in Congress were Republican. They weren't Democrat.
That's right.
They were Republican.
And what president tried to get all the war heroes that were black taken out of history?
Oh, so it wasn't just all the war heroes. It was anywhere he could get black contributions to American history and world history removed, he did. And that was Woodrow Wilson. And he was, a Democrat. Yeah.
Wow.
And what did he say? I'll have those...
Oh, that wasn't Wilson. That was Lyndon Baines Johnson.
And he was another one.
When he pushed the Democratic Party, his theory was, hey, let's stop fighting the Civil Rights Act. Give me the Civil Rights Act, and I'll have every voting Democrat for the next 200 years. And
exactly.
And he used the slang term that people used for blacks in the day, and the Democratic leadership in Congress and the Senate said, okay, we're going to stop fighting this. We'll give it to... And that's how the Democratic Party came off as looking like heroes, because they spun it that, hey, we're the ones that gave you the Civil Rights Act.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, and we all know where abortion fits in this with Margaret Sanger and what her point was.
Yeah.
So, people have been lied to for so long. And it's just, like Bruce said, it's refreshing to hear somebody actually went on, start doing research, and a whole new Diamond and Silk was born.
Well, I can only imagine, Silk, what some of your black friends and family members have said to you, because I'm an outcast in my family because I'm the only Republican in my family, and I had an aunt disown me a few years ago. It was kind of funny and kind of sad. Because at the time I was the chairman of the Republican Party for my county, for Seminole County, Florida, where we lived at the time. And we'd had a hurricane come through, and my aunt, my 80-something-year-old aunt at the time, called and said, I just want to see how you guys are doing. You okay? I'm like, yeah, we're fine. And she's like, oh, hey, we've got a family reunion coming up in North Carolina in July. You coming up for it? And I said, well, when in July? Because I've got a meeting I have to go to. And she's like, oh, what kind of meeting? And it was a quarterly meeting for the Republican Party. And I said, oh, it's an RPOF meeting. And she goes, RPOF? And I said, yes, the Republican Party of Florida. And there's silence at the other end of the phone. And then she goes,
yeah.
Are you a Republican? And I said, yes, ma'am. And she, oh, no. And she started crying. And she says, do you support Donald Trump? And I go, yes, ma'am. And, oh, no. I mean, you would have thought I was stabbing her cat or something. And and she told me, she says, I can't talk to you anymore. And she hung up the phone.
Wow. Well, let me just say that, when it comes down to Diamond and Silk, my whole family is lifelong Democrats. When we told my mother, my father, about, at the time, Donald Trump, they were available to us. Mm-hmm. They were open-minded about it. They looked into it, and then that's when they also realized that we helped them open their eyes to realize that we've been lied to, all right? Mm-hmm. And when they opened their eyes, they switched their party to Republicans so that they can vote for Donald Trump. So my immediate family, we're all Republicans, even though we were all lifelong Democrats. Because we was able, once again, just like we took and educated ourselves and realized that the Democrat Party is the party of racism, the party of white supremacists, the party of the KKK, the party of Jim Crow, the party with Margaret Singer to create this, what they call Planned Parenthood, to exterminate black babies. Yeah. And people don't want to talk about it. They're scared to talk about it. And then I began asking myself, how are you planning to be a parent if you're killing a baby? Don't you have to have a baby in order to be a parent? It just didn't make sense. And so we now realize that's what the Democrat Party was all about. So my immediate family was lifelong Democrats, became Republicans, voted for President Trump, supported President Trump, loved President Trump, and continue on to this day, stand behind President Donald J. Trump. Mm-hmm. Now, my outside, family further out, a lot of them may be Democrats. Mm-hmm. At the beginning, they were, did not like it. We did not give 2 cents. We didn't care about what you like, what you dislike. One thing we have is our own mind. Nobody can tell us how to think. We have our own mouth. Nobody can tell us what to say or how to speak. And now, to this day, in 2026, my immediate family's like, them girls was right. They were trying to tell us back then, they were trying to, because now what do the Democrat Party represent? They represent chopping off little boys' private parts and trying to make us believe that a man can be a natural-born woman and want to indoctrinate us and our children with foolishness and demonicism. And so the average person, even though they've been mentally stable into thinking that you have to be a Democrat, they now realize, no, I do not. I can support the person that I feel is best to do the job for me, because look at where I'm at now. Black people now realize that Democrats have been deeming us as a project and has been treating us as a project, and even got you living in a project with 4 walls and a basketball goal in the middle. And if you get outside of that project, they seek their dogs on you, because you're not supposed to be able to think outside of the black box. And and I'm not trying to make this a race thing, but it is what it is. Okay, this is everything.
It's not so much racism as it is placism.
Somebody's race.
Yeah, not so much racism as it is placism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And this thing about them always want to call President Trump a racist. Let me tell you something. President Trump is not a racist. He's a realist. And the only color he sees is green, and he wants everybody to have some of it. That's why he's working so hard to make sure we are prosperous here in America, that America is on top again. Okay? So I don't get down with all of that stuff, and I know exactly who the real racist is. It's the Democrat Party and the grand old Republican Party. Okay, see, I can't talk about the Democrats and not talk about these Republicans. We got what we call trans Republicans. We have Republicans that's really truly Democrats identifying as Republicans because they're not doing absolutely nothing for the will of the American people.
I like that saying,
I don't have a
trans
problem with speaking out about it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well,
I love it.
We know firsthand from having been involved in the political scene here in Florida that you have what we call rhinos.
Yes.
And they're Republican in name only.
I like the trans thing better.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I mean,
but they're they have the moniker Republican after their name.
Oh, yeah.
But they are
we know they're working for the other side.
They're either working for the other side or they're just working for themselves. Yeah. And they're not working for the will of the people.
Remember, you all, the Republican Party, unfortunately, has been infiltrated with fakes. Yeah. Fakes, frauds, and phonies, okay? It really have. And let me also say that I did not become a Republican because of Republicans. I became a Republican so I can vote for President Trump in the primaries, okay? It wasn't because of the Republican Party itself, per se, all right? I'm a conservative at heart. I believe in conserving. I don't believe in wasting. I don't believe in waste, fraud, and abuse. I'm a conservative at heart. Even as a Democrat, I was still a conservative. And if you look at it, most Democrats are conservatives. They just don't know it. They are conservatives, and they don't understand it. So we've been having this two-party system that's really been working against the will of the people. And that's why the businessman, Donald Trump, he's a businessman, okay, not a career politician. That's how he's able to come in and run America as a business so we can have some money in our pocket.
Yeah. And, and he told all of us when he took office that it was not going to be easy to turn the ship around after 4 years of Biden. Biden did an incredible amount of damage in a very short period of time.
Biden, but yeah.
Well, Biden, Obama, Otto Penn, yeah. But he did an incredible amount of damage in a short period of time. And then there's so many people fighting against what Donald Trump's doing. Why? Because they've all been on the gravy train, and the gravy train is stopped.
Just like
that's right.
We talked earlier about
it
Planned
was a
Parenthood.
true under Jim Crow Joe. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
Jim Crow Joe. Yeah. It was a true travesty. This country was going straight downhill. Okay, allowing open borders, allowing individuals to come into our country that don't belong here, locking up innocent individuals and trapping American citizens, utilizing our money to all of these different schemes that they have to launder money and facilitate the fraud, which we are now starting to see, being exposed now. Okay, a lot of those individuals are behind that. They didn't care or give 2 cents about the will of the American people. They was all about illegal aliens and illegal alien votes. Okay, and that's basically who they are.
And that's how they've stayed in power this long. The illegal votes.
Yep.
Well,
that's it.
We're up against another break.
Yes, we are. Good catch.
Yes.
We'll be right back with more Pro-Life Radio. We have Silk of Diamond and Silk. Just telling it like it is.
Amen.
And we'll be back with more in just a bit on AM 950, FM 94.9, The Answer.
If you're pro-life, like this show, and want to support this mission, please help with your donation today. Go online to givesendgo.com/Orlando Pro-Life Radio, or make your check out to Mission Save America, Inc., and mail it to 13900, County Road 455, Unit 107-334, Claremont, Florida 34711. Pro-Life Radio is a non-profit entity and all donations are tax deductible. Thank you.
And welcome back to Pro-Life Radio on a Sunday evening. I'm Vicki Cherry. My handsome husband, Bruce Cherry, is across from me. Mm-hmm. Sitting quietly across from me also is my sister, Debbie. She's from Montana. She comes and we're dragging her around everywhere.
I think we're going to have to draft her to be part of the show.
Yeah, she's looking up stuff.
She's looking up stuff and handing research to us and everything.
Yeah.
And I think,
because there was some false stuff about Silk that Debbie was like, they say she died. And I'm like, no, she's not.
No, she's not dead. We're talking to her. So, But we've got Silk of Diamond and Silk on with us tonight. We're streaming on theanswerorlando.com. You can listen there. And so, Silk, now I know the videos of you and your sister out there. How can people find them?
They can go to diamondandsilk.com. And also, my sister and I, we did a book. We wrote a book together. You can get this at diamondandsilkstore.com. Diamondandsilkstore.com. The name of the book is Uprising. Who the hell said you can't ditch and switch? The Awakening of Diamond and Silk. You can go there to learn about how and why we got into the political arena, where we grew up from, my mother, my father, being sharecroppers and so forth, and how we became entrepreneurs and became Trump supporters. And now, President Trump, he's just like my best friend. And so forth. So, diamondandsilkstore.com. I still, once I say, operate the Diamond and Silk Chit Chat live show. And that's Mondays through Fridays, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on LindellTV.com or DiamondandSilkNetwork.com.
Mike Lindell.
Tell us a little more about your interactions with Donald Trump. I know you both had a great relationship with him.
I love Donald Trump. Yes, listen. I mean, he came to my sister's celebration of life. He said he had to be there. He paid for everything. He said, Silk, I don't want you to worry about nothing.
But he's a racist, Silk. He's a racist. What do you mean?
That's exactly what I did. He paid for everything, from the food, from the cars, from the building, everything. He even sent his team here, to North Carolina. They flew here to North Carolina to take care of everything. They did not want me to lift a finger. They just wanted me to be pleasant, quiet, and just mourn the death of my sister the way that I needed to. But they didn't want me to worry about anything. President Trump, he's just like family. My father loved him. My mother, she passed away back in 2021, June 28, 2021. So she didn't get a chance to meet him. But he's just like family. Everybody loves him. Listen, he's a real individual. He would prefer to talk to a regular individual instead of a billionaire.
Yeah.
That's just how President Trump is. He's down to earth.
I will tell you, Vicki and I have had the honor and pleasure of being at Mar-a-Lago twice and having met him. And we talked to, some of the people there, both black, white, Hispanic. I mean, he's got tons of people on his staff of all races, and they all say the same thing. Best job they've ever had with the best boss they've ever had. That he knows all of them by name, and not only knows them, but knows their family. Asking about, hey, how's your wife? And it's not how's your wife doing.
It's horrible what we're doing to him. I mean, it's like he is the person that we want there. He is the man that truly should be there. And he is not racist. Nobody thought he was before he got.
He's the man with the master plan to make America great again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Period.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the bottom doggone line. All of these other people that is coming out of the work, they don't want this country to succeed. Okay? That's why we had Jim Crow Joe era, Jim Crow Joe Biden, and the regime to basically steal this country away from us, the American people, the American citizens. And they took and they lied about it. Now the truth is finally coming out. Everywhere where we was called conspiracy theories, now the conspiracies has become factual, and I guess that makes us prophets now. I guess So it is what it is. President Trump is doing what the will of the people, what we want. We want closed borders. We want prosperity back into our country. We want money back into our country. We want to control our own country instead of outsourcing our stuff to other countries. That's what we want. And we want people that love our country in our country. I'm not saying that, no, don't let no migrants or foreigners come into our country. If you come, you got to come and do it the right way, just like everybody else. So to just walk up over here and think you can break into America's house and rip away at the fabric of America, our sovereignty, oh, no, 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 no. Either you assimilate or you vacate, but you got to do it the right way. And if you can't do it the right way, you got to go. And one more thing, let me just say this before my minutes is up. If you are a foreigner, okay, you do not deserve to be in Congress or the Senate, all right? We can't go to a foreign country and govern in their political arena. It should not be happening here in America. You cannot have allegiance to two countries. You're going to love one and hate the other. Okay? All right? So you go to your own country and you be a politician over there, not here in America. It's time to get rid of Ilhan Omar. The first three letters of her name is ill. She's either ill-phonic or mentally ill or something, but she needs to get out of our system because her allegiance is to Somalia, not America. And we need to get that right there. That loophole need to be plugged up.
Absolutely.
I can go on and on and on.
Go ahead. You got time.
You got about 6 more minutes. So
I am totally sold out for what you're selling.
I am too.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
I am too.
But that's exactly what needs to happen. Also, all of these different states, all of these different cities that have these sanctuary cities, every last one of the governors, every last one of the mayors need to be locked up. President Trump needs to send in the marshals. He needs to send in the military and get every last one of them, because what they're doing is they're harboring, okay? They're aiding and abetting aliens, criminals, all right? And Title 8, Code 1324 clearly states it is illegal to aid and abet an alien, all right? These are illegal aliens that these governors and these mayors in these blue states are aiding and abetting, and every last one of them needs to be locked up. All right. And instead of making all of these different laws, just, we got this piece of legislation. We got that piece of legislation. How about follow the laws that's already on the book? We already got laws, especially when it comes down to our elections. We already have laws on the books where illegal aliens can't vote in our elections. Now we got to go here. We already have the something called SAVE, but now we got to pass the Save America Act just to save America. And we have Republicans that's supposed to have control of the House, supposed to have control of the Senate, and they can't even pass the Save America Act. We have a very big problem here in this country. We need God to come here and actually save us from all of these different people that seeks to destroy us. It is time for us to truly save America, but we got to get rid of all of these rhinos, all of these individuals that is
all
going along.
Trans Republicans.
And you know what? They probably don't want to save America because they're probably getting in on the action of these illegal aliens.
I'm sure
these
they are.
NGOs. Yeah, laundering the money through these different companies. All of this waste, fraud, and abuse. You got Tampon Timmy down there in Minnesota. What is he doing, huh? How is it that the Somalians is getting arrested for all of this fraud? What about the politicians that facilitated the fraud?
Right.
It's time to arrest them too. Ooh, boy, I can go on and on and on. When I get started, y'all done got me started. Y'all done got a sister started. Let me tell you, it's time to arrest these people. When you look at the deficit, when you look at our deficit, that is the fraud. The deficit is the fraud. We want our money back with interest.
I want to see some people doing the perp walk in handcuffs and leg irons. That's what I want to see. Yeah, I want us to get our money back.
This is being exposed, and nothing's happening.
Yeah.
It's not just the people. Hey, it's not just the people. I want these career politicians that have been facilitating this stuff.
That's what I'm talking about.
Non-governmental organizations. It's time to lock them up. They've been sitting up there in Congress spreading like butter and turning that house into an old folks' home. A lot of them so old they can't even see their feet. It's terrible with what they have been doing to this country and the way they have been stealing America's wealth. So I'm with you, like, honey, all of these corrupt politicians, it's time to lock every last one of them right on up or deport them right on back to their country.
Well,
Amen.
yeah. And the ones that, like you said, the ones that are from another country should never be serving.
No, I don't understand.
In office.
And being sworn in on different things than the Bible,
This country was founded on Christian principles, and to be sworn in on anything other than a Bible is a travesty. It's a travesty.
Exactly. But once again, those are loopholes, and it's time to plug up those loopholes. It's time to get rid of these loopholes and stop allowing any and everybody to think they're going to serve us. They're not serving us. They don't even know us. They don't represent us, so they shouldn't be in our political apparatus.
Mm-mm. And I've felt this for a long time. I know it is the case for pastors, and I believe it's the case for politicians. And I think it's the case for people in general. There are two kinds of people in this world. There are those who want to serve others, and there are those who only want to serve themselves.
That's right.
And
that's right.
And I think that's the problem. We've got a lot of people
that only want to serve themselves. Bruce, people are awakening to the fact that we have a lot of people that call themselves representing America and American citizens who's only serving themselves.
Oh, yeah.
That's why they create all of these NGOs where their loved ones, their girlfriends or their wives or their husband, whoever, own these NGOs, and they launder money through these NGOs so that money can launder back to their bank account or their pocketbook. Okay? That's what's been happening for a very, very, very long time. And it's time to uproot the fraud from the root. We got to get it from the root. We can't just chop it off. It's time to uproot the fraud from the root.
Vicky, say root.
Uproot.
Oh, Vicky's from Silk. Vicky is from Montana, and she's got this weird little accent. And when she says root,
it comes out. You're supposed to say cute, not weird.
I mean, it's cute. It's very cute. And when she says root, it comes out like root. So anyway, we are out of time, and I wish we had more time. And too. Silk, I have to beg you, please come back again.
Yes,
and be on the show with us.
Our listeners are going to be like, wow.
Yes. So thank you so much.
I would be honored. God bless.
Silk of Diamond and Silk with us tonight. This has been Pro-Life Radio. If you like this radio ministry and you want to help keep us on the air, details are coming up on how you can do that. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you all for listening. Thanks to Dave, our producer. Thank my lovely wife, Vicki. Thank our now production assistant and the world's greatest sister-in-law, Debbie. I'm Bruce Cherry saying good night.
Thank you,
from
Silk.
AM 950, FM 94.9, The Answer.
If you're pro-life, like this show, and want to support this mission, please help with your donation today. Go online to givesendgo.com/Orlando Pro-Life Radio. Or make your check out to Mission Save America, Inc. and mail it to 13900, County Road 455, Unit 107-334, Claremont, Florida 34711. Pro-Life Radio is a non-profit entity, and all donations are tax-deductible. Thank you.
You've been listening to Pro-Life Radio, a strong voice for the unborn in Florida, with Vicki and Bruce Cherry. Connect with Vicki and Bruce online at proliferadio.com and join us again next week at this very same time for Pro-Life Radio. Pro-Life Radio is a pre-recorded show.